Though I made a mistake when I went to the theater.
Oh no.
You get the combo packs of the popcorn, the pop, and then the candy.
Yeah.
I was like, well, gotta get Twizzlers.
Yeah.
So I've been eating way too many Twizzlers.
Oh my god, Twizzlers and nibs are my
the nibs,
kryptonite.
The super nibs are like
basically fully filled in licorice.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
so good.
It's a problem. But yeah, no, I went and I just got the little one. I was like, that'll be enough. And then I got home. I was like, I really want more licorice, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the 7-Eleven and went, this is ridiculous. They're charging me how much for some candy? So the next day I went to the Costco. Hello, and welcome to Basements, Faults, and Catapults. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron.
And I'm Trevor.
And here we're going to be looking at games, genres, and the things we enjoy in gaming.
And to do that, we're going to randomly select a genre each episode.
We'll give a brief rundown of that genre.
And then we'll select 2 games. One of these games will be the absolute best in show for us, while the other, for whatever reason, is not so good. The catch, and what we hope to be the fun part, is that neither of us will have played, or at least played heavily, the titles the other has selected.
Yeah, we're taking those titles, the best, the worst, divide them up. We'll give it an hour of playtime, meet back up, and chat about our experiences.
That's where we'll give our opinions of the other's game, celebrate where we agree, and refrain from murdering each other where we disagree. After all, not everyone can have a perfect opinion.
And that's it. We hope that you'll join us, listen in, maybe be inspired to try a few titles along the way, or, let us know exactly why our opinions are trash.
Thank you for joining us. And remember, the cake is a lie.
Not the cake, GLaDOS, no.
The cake is definitely a lie.
God, the first Portal, life-changing.
Yeah, definitely. The Portal 2 was fun.
Portal 2 was fun.
But Portal 1 definitely introduced a whole new mechanic into gaming that we'd never seen before.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And the thing for me is, I think as a single-player immersive experience, I enjoyed Portal 2 more.
Yeah, I would agree.
But Portal had the most impact.
Yeah.
Just everything about Portal was just
yeah. No, Portal was awesome, man. I was glad that they introduced multiplayer in Portal 2 so you could play with your friends and figure stuff out together.
God, how joyful.
I think that it's weird to me that there haven't been more games to make use of that mechanic since then.
Yeah, no.
Imagine Call of Duty, but with portal guns. Right? Why hasn't that been done yet?
Why hasn't that been
Other
done
than
yet?
getting sued.
Other than sued off of their buttocks.
My poor portal gun is so yellowed from when it was upstairs in my other office and it was getting
UV'd.
It was getting UV'd, yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I might have to.
I think you can clean that with
I
bleach?
tried, dude. I tried cleaning that, and I cannot get it to go back to white. But if you have any good ways of cleaning plastic on white plastic toys and turning them back to white, let me know.
Yeah, please email us. We have a lot of ways to contact us, and one of those is our email account.
I'd love to know. I just certainly won't. I don't want to Google it.
I don't want to Google it.
bfcpcontact@gmail.com.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, bfcpcontact@gmail.com.
Reach out.
Basement Faults and Catapults. That's actually Basement Faults, Catapults, BFCP.
Yeah. We also have a business, which is the exact same thing, just business.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that's our plug for the day. Let's talk about the genres. We have an amazing wheel that is actually a spreadsheet document.
Wheel of genres.
And pardon me. It's nice and chilly down in this basement, so I'm getting a little sleepy.
Is it too chilly for you?
No, I love it. This is
cool.
perfect.
I mean, you know what? I could buy a second pair of slippers. So we could be in slippers and flannel when we record, especially when it gets to minus 20. Again,
start packing my house coat.
yeah. We'll Hefner it up.
We'll just Hugh Hefner
bring some pipes and a house coat, and we'll just.
And not to get too political, but did you hear the Stormy Daniels testimony at the Trump trial?
So not directly. I heard kind of people summarizing it in some radio ads.
Well, she basically, Stormy Daniels is giving her testimony, and at one point, she's in the hotel room and she sees Donald Trump in his silk or satin pajamas, and she says, "Does Hugh Hefner know you stole his pajamas?"
Oh, that's funny.
Right?
I didn't steal them.
I didn't
They're
steal
not
them.
his.
They were a
mine.
gift.
They're my
They were a
pajamas.
gift.
They're really nice
They were
pajamas.
great pajamas. And
Expensive Egyptian silk.
everybody says that, when you wear these pajamas, you don't look good, but I look amazing.
You know, the
Everybody-
pajamas.
People say I look really good.
I heard that she spanked him with a magazine.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Time magazine with his photo on it. He's like,
Yeah.
"Whack."
Like, what a thing to have your face on Time magazine and have someone whack you on the buttocks.
Whack you. That's hilarious. I love everything about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You couldn't make this stuff up.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Which is also just mwah. But sorry, we got sidetracked. So we have this really lovely table that Trevor has spent countless minutes making. It is a random number generator, and I think the countless minutes jokes can be retired.
yeah, they can be. One of these days, you know what? I'm gonna convert this into an actual running Windows
So
application.
now it's countless hours.
and then it'll be countless hours for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, and then we can make those jokes.
We make those
Then you
jokes.
won't be able to call it an Excel spreadsheet anymore.
But it is an Excel spreadsheet, and I think you guys don't understand how impressed I am by this. I am always impressed by Excel sheet magic. There's actually Excel spreadsheet speedrunning.
You know, I actually enhanced the spreadsheet.
It's been enhanced.
I literally don't know why I spend so much time on this thing, but I set it up so that now you can just add other genres and number them, and you don't need to manually change the numbers anymore. It just
It'll
automatically.
just automatically.
Well, yeah, because it just counts how many there are, and it goes, well, based on however many there are, we'll just take the random between the min of the numbers and the max of the numbers. So now it'll always be
It'll just be right.
yeah, so we can add as many as we want. Although, I gotta tell you, I've got a hankering for tower defense.
Tower defense.
It's been a while.
There was one tower defense I was playing a lot of,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to remember what it was called actually. Hold on.
I was playing a lot of balloons.
Balloons. I see that balloons. On the TD6.
Yeah, I haven't played in a while, but balloons is kind of fun. It's multiplayer.
It's when I think tower defense, balloons is one of the first things I think of, right?
Yeah, a friend of mine introduced me to that, and I'm glad he did. It was good.
Back in the Newgrounds Flash era, right?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, it was a big one. I'm trying to remember the tower defense game that I've been playing a lot of, or I did play a lot of, and I have it on Steam here.
I mean, I've got Orcs Must Die.
Yeah, Orcs Must Die. Orcs Must Die 3 is available on EA as a free game right now, so
Cool.
there's something.
I've got Mindustry, which I haven't played a lot of. Dungeon Defenders 1 and 2.
Rogue Tower. That's the one I was playing a lot
Rogue
of.
Tower. Okay, cool. I also have They Are Billions. Fortress Craft Evolved is
Yeah,
kind of
They Are
cool.
Billions isn't really tower defense.
I bought Kitty Apocalypse, and that's got to be by far the worst pirate I've ever seen.
But you have seen
But I have seen it. Yeah, Kitty Apocalypse is definitely. I can't get past the first level. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can't.
You
do
could
it.
enter and win a RTX 3070 though.
Yeah, I
see,
could.
right there.
I don't really want a 3070 though.
Yeah.
4070, I would do it. I mean, I've only got one of those.
Yeah. Oh, boo hoo.
Boo-hoo. Yeah, my
Onyo.
You know what I love about the 4070 Founders Edition is that it's the same width as an ATX motherboard. So it literally just slots in perfectly. It will fit any case. What a beautiful little card.
That actually is a big sell because a lot of PC building is fitting it into the form factor, and having a graphics card that fits is kind of a problem now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The 4090s are a beast.
Yeah, you have to get a bracket. Like if you're doing a vertical build, you're gonna have to get a bracket to support the weight. Like it's getting a little ridiculous out here, guys.
So sorry, what was the name of that tower defense game?
Rogue Tower.
Rogue Tower. Let me look this up. Because I'm always on the hunt for a good... it would help if I spelled rogue, right? Rogue Tower.
Yeah, so Rogue Tower is like they tried to combine tower defense and roguelike. There you go.
Rogue you. I'm having spelling issues
I
today.
see that. My God.
Oh, I ended up with Noel the Mortal Fate S8.
I don't know what that is. That's not Rogue Tower.
Tower. Okay, let's go again. Rogue
Hey!
Tower. There it is. Okay, I'm going to add that to my wish list. Oh, cool. I love how it's like a block design. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tower defense is another game style that I would love to build a good tower defense game in. Because I've always found a lot of tower defense games are fun, but I find them lacking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if I did a tower defense game, I would do this or that. And that's why I want to start a game development company so I can make new game mechanics that no one has thought of before. Yeah.
What's stopping you, Trevor? Gun to your head right now.
About $6.5 million.
$6.5 million. Yeah, that's fair.
I need to hire staff and artists and developers and programmers. And
there you go.
While I myself am a programmer and a developer, I can't do it on my own. I'm trying. I'm still working on my game.
Let's go get ourselves a venture capitalist. Let's do it.
Venture. Well, we will call it Adventure Capital.
Adventure Capital. That's an idle clicker game. That is copyright.
Is it? Oh, darn.
Yeah.
All right, man. So,
okay.
Yeah. How about you? Tower defense is kind of my
I've been filled up on simulation, sandbox survival, like between Planet Crafter.
Yeah, we did like 2 back-to-back survival games.
Yeah, we did Raft and Planet Crafter. So like right now, I just want to break stuff. So I've been playing some first-person shooters.
Okay.
Gone back to my roots. I recently got a really cool Duke Nukem 3D simulator.
Cool.
And it plays it really good, and I've just, shooting aliens and rescuing babes.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king, baby.
Yeah, I love it. That's a good oldie. So I guess we should pick a genre.
We should.
All right. Well, where's that D20?
Let's do it.
Where
the D20 demands to be rolled.
There's the D20.
All right. I get to roll the dice because he gets to click the button.
I get to click the button.
It's a really cool button.
Don't roll a natural one, okay?
How does a natural 18 feel?
18's good enough to drink in Canada.
It's true story.
Let's do this. Let's go. Hold on, I'm having brain problems today. There we go.
There we go.
All right, 19 times, and we'll just edit out the clicks.
18
times.
18 times. We were so close.
Oh, you got anime, but it only came up once in the roulette wheel. We only will play if it comes up on all three slots.
Now, here's an interesting question. I feel like we did RTS already.
Yeah, so let's go back in our history.
Yeah, we did Outpost 2.
We did RTS episode
War for Galaxy.
Episode 2, episode 3. I don't know. It's weird because I got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. So episode 3 we did RTS.
Yeah. So I think that's still too soon to go back.
That leaves us with platformer.
Okay.
As a potential choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Platformer.
Yeah. Unless you really want to do anime. But I think we got to stick to the guns.
I think we got to stick to the point. Do I own any platformer games?
I don't think I own any platformer games. Not true platformers.
Because I have some interesting takes on a platformer genres. But yeah, as far as like just pure platformer goes. Because when I think platformer, I think Mario. I think
like Hollow Knight is about as platformer as we can get. Terraria, maybe?
But I consider Terraria more, Minecraft survival.
It is sandbox survival, 2D survival. Yeah, let's see what we got for platformer. There's a game called Platformer.
Oh.
Let's see.
What do I have? I don't think I have anything that could be considered a platform game.
I don't think I do either, so we're going to have to dive into...
That's interesting.
Platformers.
Yeah, well, while we're here, to you, what is a platformer? Like, what do you consider platformers?
Well, I gotta think for a minute because platform.
My cousin plays this game. I can't play this game now because he'll know I played it. And then the next family reunion, we'll be hanging out, and he'll be like, "Doh," and I'll be like, "Don't."
Which game is that?
Hollow Break.
Hollow Break. Interesting. That's a good name.
Well, see, we've talked about this, and I'm guilty of enjoying VTubers. And the largest company is HoloLive, or at least one of the largest companies is called HoloLive, and they have quite a dedicated and intelligent fan base.
Yeah.
And among those, there's been 2 games that have been developed that are fan developed games, or 3. Sorry. There's call it Hollow Break, which is like an old. Do you remember River City Ransom?
No.
It's like a 2D beat 'em up game, like Streets of Rage.
Okay. I know Streets of Rage.
Okay, so it's Streets of Rage, but it adds a lot of cool little mechanics, and you're playing as cute anime girls. Like, what more do you want? And then
I want it to be in VR.
Oh no! And then they had another one, and I forget the name right now. Hollow Cure, and it's basically Vampire Survivors.
Someone redid it and called it River City Girls.
Yeah, River City Girls is pretty good.
Oh.
And then there's a third one, and I forget what it's called, but it's basically you play as one of these. It was originally developed with the character, a very specific character, Amelia, and she kind of got a lot of notoriety for one of her very early streams. She was playing a Mario game, and she's reading the instructions. It's like, nothing beats a ground pound. Well, that's what I did to your mom last night. And that became kind of her signature. So they introduced an entire game based around her ground pounding.
Ground pounding. Right. I like it.
And it was a cute little game.
Cool.
So it's, and to that extent, I always enjoy the fan base, because the fan base takes something and makes such a beautiful, amazing stuff out of it.
Well,
I have no platformer.
The platformer.
You could consider Portal a platformer, I guess.
I would think maybe a little bit. I immediately wanted to think of like Metroid, the original Metroid game.
Yeah, the original Metroid. For me, platformers will always be like Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic
2,
platformer, the
Mario games. Yeah.
And I think like the officially accepted definition is basically jumping between platforms or over obstacles. So literally platformers.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the platform you're on. So games like Ocarina of Time are not considered to be a platform game because jumping is not really controlled by the player in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I could consider Sakuna of Rice and Rune a platformer. Actually, I really enjoyed Sakuna. I might go back and reinstall that one.
Well, if we look at...
It's the best rice farm simulator you'll ever play.
Hey, I mean, there's lots of other farming simulators out there. So we did our last roll. We kind of took a break from good versus bad. We played both games that we were kind of fond of.
Yeah. That was our special, our episode 10. And going forward, we're going to hope to do something special for every 10th episode, if you will.
Yeah.
Whether that be like interviewing somebody or playing a game that we both really are huge into right now.
Yeah, I'm actually poking around the podcasting subreddit. And I've reached out to a couple people that are kind of, they've done podcasting. Maybe they have like a few thousand Twitch streamers on their Twitch, and they're looking for, guest spots, or they just want to come chat with some people. And
help us, bring us, help us out, if you will.
Yeah, and you've mentioned you've got a game developer friend that
I've done some voice acting in the indie scene here in our city, and I do have relationships with one or two developers that I'm comfortable with of leveraging. I think I've done 5 games at this point. 2 are never going to see the light of day. 1 I did not put my real name on.
I mean, and that's totally cool, right? You use a kind of a stage name, right?
That one was Dirk McMuscle.
Dirk McMuscle.
Yeah.
I will manhandle you with my Dirk McMuscle.
One of the lines that I got to use, because I was the character I was voicing was a vampire librarian who also liked to punish his lovers.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those.
You know what? Voice actors gotta work.
We gotta work. We gotta work. We gotta eat. And I will never forget the line I got to deliver was, hold on. He was a little lower like this, very French. And he said, "You have misbehaved so often, I'm beginning to think you enjoy being punished."
I mean, that's a good line.
It's a good line.
It's a good line. So the last time we did a good versus bad, you played the game that I thought was bad.
Well, yeah, but you were playing pretty nice. You went and you were like, here's a game that for whatever reason didn't click on me.
But it didn't get your stamp of approval.
It didn't.
It turned out to be not a great game.
It was bad, but it wasn't like bad, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. So, yeah, we've got to pick some platformers, and I definitely don't own any platformers.
I don't. Other than like the platformers I grew up with in the 90s, I can't think of anything lately.
This is going to be tough.
I'm sitting here, like, even Mario as it is now, I couldn't consider a, Shovel Knight! Shovel Knight is a platformer.
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight is amazing.
Is it?
I love Shovel Knight.
Hmm.
I own Shovel Knight.
Here's a 2D platformer called Turbo Kid. Oh, and it's got like
I've
a
seen this
live
movie.
action intro.
No, I've seen this movie.
Oh, is this a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like, no joke. I've seen this movie.
It's on like his BMX.
Eh.
Oh my
Eh.
gosh. Does that mean Flappy Bird is like a platformer?
I mean, by the loosest definition, I guess so, yeah.
Maybe platformers are definitely not my favorite game genre. That's okay. Oh, best platformer that I can remember. The original Prince of Persia.
Ooh, that is a good platformer.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I died so many times.
The new Prince of Persia's were more action, I think.
Yeah, the original was definitely a platformer.
Yeah.
I remember playing it on the 5 1/4 floppy disk.
Geisa.
Yeah, on an Apple probably, or some equivalent. And yeah, I remember just constantly falling on the spikes and dying and thinking how just like bloody and brutal the game was. I must have been 10 or 11 at the time. That was an old game.
Huh.
It's gonna be really hard. Pepper Grinder.
Well, I know what I'm going to make you. Wait, who gets the good one today? I get the good one.
You get the good one today. Yes.
Damn it. Okay, never
Yes,
mind.
yes. So mixed reviews or below. Mixed reviews or below.
Yeah, but like, I want you to play Shovel Knight.
So A Hat in Time is considered a 3D platformer.
Is it?
Have you ever played A Hat in Time?
No, but I've heard things about it. A lot of good things about it. Actually.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
expensive.
It's expensive. Really? I guess Neon Abyss would be a platformer. Yeah. I mean, again, Wow, Jedi Fallen Order is $5 right now.
$5 for Jedi Fallen Order? That's a sweet deal.
$5.50. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
I haven't been too happy with Survivor.
Yeah?
But it's too Souls-like.
Souls-like?
Yeah, I don't like punishing games. I think we've established
No, we've
that.
discussed this.
Yeah.
I detest punishing games.
Yeah. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Why are these platformer games so expensive?
I don't know. Like, they shouldn't be.
This is a Sega game, too.
Really?
It looks like Mario Kart meets Monkey and Bananas.
Huh.
But it's a Sega game. Yeah, this is going to take a little while.
Yeah, get comfy, everybody.
Cuphead.
You know, we've talked about this.
Cuphead's not a platformer.
We've talked about this 1,000,001 times, but they need to make it so I can find the terrible games.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Guilty Force, Wish of the Colony. Hentai, side-scroller, female protagonist, sexual content, not safe for work, platformer.
Well, I mean, at least it's a platformer.
Platformer. Have you played Getting Over It?
Getting Over It. I have not.
I played it, and it is a platformer.
Is that the guy with he's in the pot?
He's in the
got
pot.
The pitchfork.
Yeah, with the sledgehammer.
The
but yeah.
pickaxe. Yeah.
And like, people are like, "Oh, it's fun," but no, it's terrible. It is a terrible game, terribly designed. Everything about it is bad. But I guess that's the point.
I mean, you know what? If it's bad, it means I would probably only play it for a couple hours and then never again.
Yeah, it's also only $9.
I mean, hey, that's not bad. Is that what you're thinking?
I'm thinking Getting Over It. But there's options here, so I'm gonna keep going.
Let's see.
Oh, Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge could be considered a 3D platformer because you're jumping from spot to spot, I guess.
Yeah.
It's more of a runner though.
Yeah, well, for me, it was a puzzle game, right? Because you had to find the best route. Oh, no way. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is available on the PC. Great.
Ratchet and Clank. I haven't heard that name in so long.
I'm a huge Ratchet and Clank guy. Like, I loved the games. Duck game. Boop, 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 boop. Neon white.
Rayman Legends. Okay. I think I have one for you.
Okay. What do you got for me?
It is. We'll play it under an hour just in case it's not good. But this is very positive.
Oh,
I hear
Ori and the Blind Forest. I've never played, but I've heard a lot of really good things.
Yeah. Well, so I've got a couple to choose from. We've got Demon Turf Queens Edition.
Okay.
Precision platformer. It's kind of like an animated game.
Okay.
It seems more a little bit story adventure exploration, so that's a no. There's one called Stephanie, which is an acrobatic 3D adventure game.
Yeah.
The graphics look quite rudimentary.
Okay.
Lunistus.
Jumanji.
That one doesn't look so good. See, and Spark the Electric Jester as a 3D platformer. I think that's more like Sonic the Hedgehog. So I think
what's the one where you have to Jump Knight?
Jump Knight. Yeah.
That's like that's a platformer.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those like it's hard, so it's punishing.
Well, what about this actual game called Platformer? What is that?
Yeah, what is platformer?
It's it's early access, so that's a no.
That's a no. That's a no for me, dog.
Actually, I would say one of my favorite like mind-numbingly silly platformers is actually available on the Android.
Oh.
And I cannot get enough of it. I just don't think you're going to want to play it for an hour. It's called and the music is insane too. It's like la 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 la. Is it Happy Hop? I think it's called Happy Hop.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Happy Hop. Happy Hop. Yes, this is Happy Hop. It is literally a game where you just try to like jump as many platforms as you can.
It looks like just mind-numbing.
It is mind-numbing, and I think it would destroy you to do it for an hour. But it's fun. You collect these different little cats, and you have to like gather hearts as you go. You have to like not let your health bar run out. And I think my wife was doing the Big Brothers Little Sisters thing.
Okay, yeah.
And her little was big into this game. So they would play fairly often. And they'd be like, yeah, my record's like 328.
That's
so I was like, oh, here, let me play.
Yeah, I'm about to destroy you.
I was like, boom, over 1,000. That's the ADHD superpowers. I can hyper focus and definitely dominate at those kinds of games. But this Ori and the Blind Forest seems very cool. And while it is a game I have never played, it comes highly recommended. The art looks really cool. I think you should try it.
Okay, done.
Ori.
And you're going to be playing Getting Over It.
Getting Over It. Okay, cool. You know, I always wanted to try it, but I could never commit to buying it.
Well, you're getting it now, and I'm playing Ori and the Blind Forest.
I'm not just getting it, I'm getting over it.
Ori
and the Blind Forest, yeah. So episode 11, we're playing platformer.
Ori and the Blind Forest. There we go. The definitive edition is $24.99. That's a reasonable price.
I think so. And if not, you can always refund it.
That's right.
Let's see. So it's called Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm getting over it.
Looks about right.
That's the one.
It looks like the character from Rust got shoved into a bucket.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, here we go. $8.99. Let's make this happen.
Let's making it happen.
Buttons pressed. Content installed.
It's happening.
We're gonna do it right now.
We're about to do it. We'll get an hour in here.
Yes. Set a timer, Kronk.
Wrong timer!
Run the timer, Kronk! No, you son of a... Like,
You were there. You had it.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
Not fair.
It's not fair.
Literally not fair.
It hates me. It hates me. It hates you. It hates everyone.
I'm actually getting anxiety from this game.
I can see that.
Like, and I mean, you know what? I mean, kudos to the game for being a game that can cause anxiety. I think that's it's well designed.
On that note, it has been an hour.
See, but this is the problem. See, now I can't stop because now you're like, you can't. You got to get to the top. You got to get to the top. You got to juggle your sledgehammer.
You gotta get there. No,
well,
you're done.
So much for that.
You're done. You did it. You did it. You lasted. You lasted.
You know, the thing is, it would be better.
It would be better
if it would give me like an achievement for getting
there
to certain spots. Like at least give me some reward other than flinging me into the abyss. Because I literally started leaning to the left to fall off the top of the cliff. I was like, no, no, no. And then I like overcorrect and then it just launches you. Hey, at least there's no fall damage.
That is true, right? At least there's that. Okay, so...
All right, man. So you got to tell me.
Yeah?
How was...
Ori and the Blind Forest? It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was lush. It was... I mean, it didn't reinvent the wheel in terms of platforming, but like it was lovely. I enjoyed it. It felt good. There were some moments that were perhaps... You know, my issue with a platformer game is there's moments of just, there's nothing I could have done that would have changed the outcome.
Yeah.
I was jumping, and midair I got hit by a ball, which cancels my jumps, and now I went straight to the bottom. And I accept that as part of a platform game. Like, I understand it's going to happen.
What's that? You fell to the bottom?
We'll get to you soon. We'll get to you. So there were a few moments where I got stun locked and died and stuff, but the way they did saves is very interesting. You can save anywhere as long as you have the currency for it.
Okay.
Which is your energy. So it was nice in that regard. It was beautiful. The music was gorgeous. The art direction was perfect. Like, it was a great game. But it didn't do anything new. Right? It was a platformer. I've played this platformer a million times. I know, get double jump, get wall jump, unlock dash, unlock air jump. You know, I know this formula. I know how this game is going. I could have guessed what my next power up was going to be, right?
Yeah.
But it executed it very well, very competent. So yeah, breaking it, I enjoyed it. I would recommend if you're a big platformer guy, definitely check it out. Right? It's beautiful in that regard. So, graphics art, this is a solid 9 out of 10 for me.
9 out of 10.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
They did an amazing job. Music, 10 out of 10. Oh, baby, did I feel it. When my big bear mom thing died, I was not okay. Gameplay, it's not doing anything new, but it didn't do anything bad. So, 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Fun factor, I don't like the platform mechanic. I don't like that sort of game.
Okay.
So this is going to be tough for me. I mean, you have to factor in your personal feelings, right? So this is going to be a 7 out of 10.
Okay. And again, 7 out of 10 means it was good, just wasn't great.
Yeah, and so 8 out of 10 total.
Cool.
Beautiful
cool.
game. The team behind it had a very clear vision. They executed it well. It was nostalgic. It tugged on the right heartstrings. Just a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Very cool. I think one of the reasons that we don't own a lot of platformers in our Steam libraries is because, for all intents and purposes, we were the platformer generation.
Yeah, we grew up on Mario. We grew up on those things, right?
Yeah, we grew up on the platformer, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's much in the way of game mechanics that we haven't experienced in platformers.
Yeah.
And so for us, visiting a platformer, the only thing that would make it appealing to us is the art or the story or the style, because we've already played these kinds of games kind of over and over and over. Now, it looks gorgeous. I mean, just looking at the preview videos, it looks very, very nice. I think, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll give it a shot at some point. It's definitely, again, platformer. It's not the first thing on my list.
Yeah, exactly.
So, my good friend.
Would I recommend it?
Stamp of approval?
Stamp of approval.
Okay,
Solid.
cool.
If they had this sort of game when we were growing up, that right, I would have spent weekends never seeing the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, so Ori and the Blind Forest tells the tale of a young orphan destined for heroics.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And yeah, so it's about, I guess the forest is dying.
Yeah, you're sort of the child of the great spirit tree, but you were lost and found by a forest denizen who raised you. And then there's, the forest starts to die, and your mother guardian is sacrificing herself for you. Like, she could only find enough food for one person.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
So when she passes, your character then goes on this little adventure.
Well, it's not surprising to me that you gave it a 10 out of 10. It talks about how it's fully orchestrated. So it was all done with an orchestra.
The music popped.
Yeah.
Like, there was no, my biggest thing is, 9 times out of 10 when I'm playing a game, I turn off the background music and put my own soundtrack on.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
Yeah.
This one, I would buy the soundtrack. It was so beautiful.
Was it more like classical?
It was classical folklore, that sort of wispy, oh.
Very cool. Very cool.
It was beautiful. I loved it.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's cool. Anything else you want to tell us about Ori and the Blind Forest?
Yeah. So, from what I remember, when it first came out, it was one of the indie darlings. And I can definitely see why. It was beautifully done, well executed. And more importantly, games like this fall into the danger for games like this is, yes, it is a platformer. Yes, this ground has been trod and retrod a million times. So when you make a game in this genre, do you try to push the envelope and really do something? Or do you take your story that you want to tell and use this as the delivery vehicle? And I find if the designer tries to do push the boundaries of what makes, they either do this crazy new genre defining thing, or they fall flat on their face and what would have been a good game becomes trash.
Yeah. Well, I find for games, and we've talked about this in the past, for games that have a good score, and the score is really appropriate to what's going on in the story.
Oh, yeah.
It really adds to it. If it's your caregiver has died, and it's just if it's just a guy narrating that goes, your caregiver has died, there's zero impact. Or if you're just reading it as text. But if it's sad music is playing, and there's water dripping, and there's sad things happening and occurring around you, yeah, it just adds to it, man. It's so cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I did. I loved it. Let's talk about your experience. Because
yeah, can we not?
Because
okay.
Every once in a while I'd look up and you were ready to murder me, yourself, and then everyone in the room.
Yeah. So, I mean, while we were playing, I kind of said I wouldn't recommend this game to anyone that suffers from anxiety or depression. I feel very anxious after playing this game. Now, I want to clarify. Playing Getting Over It, guy stuck in a wet pot. I'm assuming it's just full the guy's sweat at this point, because he's very athletic and he's trying to get up a hill with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
This game was really popular. When did this game originally come out? This was Getting Over It. So this came out in December 2017. And yeah, I think this game is genius. But in a very thought-provoking and anxiety-provoking way. I think it was done on purpose, obviously. It was done on purpose.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, right?
I think the idea with the game, I got pretty high up to the top. I just needed to get a cross, and I couldn't get across. I kept getting bumped to the back to the beginning. And every time I'm getting bumped back to the beginning, it keeps telling me like, oh, sorry, I'll try again. It starts playing some sad music for me. It starts consoling me. It starts telling me like, but life is suffering and it's about finding meaning in the suffering. And I'm just like, like I'm living that in my day-to-day life.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Like, do I really need to live that in a game too? So I think this is like very much a game that is a deep dive into the psyche of how a lot of people feel in their life. That no matter how high they climb, they fear falling to the bottom again. And that fear fills you with anxiety. When you do fall to the bottom again, do you give up or do you keep going? And the game actually tries to encourage you to like, hey, take a break, get up and walk away. Because this is the kind of game that I remember as being a child, I would have thrown my controller into my television or punched a hole in the wall. And like, Final Fantasy VII? I believe, or was it Final Fantasy 9? Final Fantasy 9, I think.
Guy with the monkey tail?
Or maybe it was 10. Oh, it was 10. So
soccer player? Or water ball player?
The Blitzball.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Final Fantasy X, there's a part where in order to get one of the ultimate weapons, you have to dodge lightning
100 fucking times.
Okay, and I sat there and I would have been probably 18 years old, 19 years old.
Yep, that's about right, because I was living in New York at that time.
New York, I love it.
Yeah, I lived in New York City for 2 years. Well, three years.
Living the life.
Not really.
But I dodged lightning and I got to like 98 and then I missed 98. I actually kicked a hole through the wall. And I was staying with my dad at the time. And he was out of town.
Yeah, so now what do you do?
So I just patched it up, like a drywall patch. And,
yeah.
Roll a little paint over it.
And you're good,
He never even noticed. But the good thing I have those handyman skills. But this reminds me of that, where like if I don't walk away from this, I have much better control over my rage now. I don't lose my
older
temper.
and calmer.
I'm older and I understand it's bad for my blood pressure if I get too ragey.
Yeah, it's not good for you at all, right? Like
anxiety is actually pretty bad for you. The cortisol
cortisol
levels,
is a killer, man.
Yeah, and so this game,
I saw you.
Yeah, like I was definitely feeling the rage, man.
And you know what?
But I will say this, not in a bad way, because I know it's a video game. I know I can walk away from it at any time. So here's the deal. Getting over it with Bennett, Foddy.
I don't know, you got it right in front of you.
Yeah, Foddy, Foddy.
Foddy.
I'm getting over it with Bennett Foddy. I'm going to say it's probably Foddy.
It's probably Bennett Foddy.
Bennett Foddy. All right.
The game was designed by a guy who sounds like, I'm a Foddy. I'm Foddy.
Yeah, like people probably stress out pronouncing his last name as much as they do playing his game. So, but okay, so here's the deal.
Yes.
Graphics and art. They even call out the fact that most of these types of games are made using recycled resources and recycled assets.
Yeah.
And the game is not meant to have good graphics. It's not terrible. It's 6 out of 10.
It's serviceable.
Yeah, like it's not even good.
Ooh.
The graphics 7 out of 10 is like it's good.
Yeah.
This is a 6 out of 10, which means it's not really good, but they're doing it on purpose. They didn't make this game super graphically great, even though it has an extreme graphics setting, which I set it to.
Yeah.
The assets are good enough for what the game is trying to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're a little bit like meh, you know.
Well, graphics are definitely a second thought. Like this is where we want this. We want it to do a job, but we're not going to spend an hour. We're not going to spend hours on it.
So music, I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
because
that's very high.
What's really funny is that they play some very interesting scores every time you fail. And not every time you fail, but sometimes if you keep failing over and over, they play like some "Don't Feel Sorry for Me" music, or like some "Hey, feel sorry for me" music. And so I felt that was really creatively intelligent and psychologically intelligent, and I think that was a smart move on the developer's part. So gameplay, I will give gameplay I really hate this gameplay. I really, really, really hate
it.
I hate this style of gameplay. That being said, the game as a whole, if I put in playing the game, experiencing the game, I've got to give this gameplay an 8 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, I have to, because it's innovative and it's creative and it's interesting and
Wow.
as much as it pissed me off
Yeah.
nonstop,
Yeah.
there's just something about it even explaining to you, like, life is about suffering. It's about struggle and finding meaning in the struggle and lightness in the dark and, all this other stuff. And I think that there's a lot of intelligence, a lot of good thought, meaningful, deep thought was put into this game. And I would be selling it short if I gave it anything other than an 8 out of 10.
Well, you know what? Good for you.
And as much as I dropped a lot of cursives and other little words in little expressions, because you have to, when you feel all that anxiety, you need to blurt something out to get it out of your system.
You need to. Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
So I hate to do this, but it's a 9 out of 10 for fun.
What?
It's a fun game. I mean,
wow.
Call it what it is. It's a fun game.
Like, good for you, man. You found the joy in the suck.
You know what? My whole life has been about taking on challenges that other people say no to, doing things that, contrary to my own survival instincts, are...
You're doing it?
I'm just going to do it anyway. I almost, not that I seek out struggle in my life, but I never turn away from it.
You don't avoid it.
Yeah. And I think learning to play a game like this and doing some like meditation alongside it to just relax and enjoy it.
Let that out?
Like, this could be anger management, the video game, honestly. To teach people to deal with stress, to deal with anxiety, to deal with failure. And in that, I have to say that it is an intelligently built game. And I have a lot of respect. When I first saw people playing this, like on Twitch and things like that.
Yeah, it was big on the streamers. A lot of streamers did that.
Yeah, I used to think, what a stupid game.
Yeah.
What a stupid game. And
it's just, it's fun to watch other people suffer. Yeah.
I have a newfound respect for this game as someone who's playing it and has gone through the struggle with it. And you know what? I'm probably not going to play it for a little while, but I'll go back to it because I think I need to be able...
I got to get to the top of that mountain.
I need to get to the top of that mountain. I have to.
There you go.
I need to do it.
There you go.
And
wow.
How many games can give you that feeling of... Like, Dark Souls doesn't give me that feeling. Dark Souls is like, this is just brutal.
Yeah.
Right? And that could be fun too. But this is a game where it's like, yeah, it's brutal, but it's trying to teach you something. And it consoles you. It makes you feel better. It plays you some nice music. It tries to be kind to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't go, oh, you suck. Oh, you're terrible.
Yeah.
Like, the game is not trying to demean you.
No, the game wants you to succeed.
It's trying to encourage you.
Yeah.
Like, don't give up, man.
Yeah.
You can do it.
We want you to succeed. It sucks, but we want you to get to the top of that mountain. That's cool.
Yeah, so I really feel for this game. This game really sucks. But it sucks on purpose, and it sucks in a way that makes you try not to suck.
Amazing.
Right? Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
That's cool. I'm glad.
I'm gonna give it a general 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. That
yeah. And a stamp of approval.
My God.
You need to play this game. You need to suffer. You need
to suffer. You need to suffer.
You need to suffer and die. Yeah, I know.
Suffering builds character.
I think that this is one of those games where if you have...
That's really cool.
If you have a temper, if you have rage issues, or you grew up as a child with rage issues, which a lot of us maybe did.
Huh?
A lot of us didn't. I think this is a good game to teach you a lesson. To teach you how to manage your anger, how to manage your stress, how to accept defeat.
Wow.
But probably set a timer.
Yeah.
An hour was enough.
An hour was more than enough.
If you've been playing this for an hour and you're being brutally swung back to the beginning of the map constantly, walk away.
Get a coffee.
Come back to it. But this is one of those games where, like, if you're really struggling to get through something in life, come play this game for an hour and then realize that hey man, if you're not going to give up this game,
You're not going to give up on anything.
Definitely don't give up on anything.
Yeah,
right? Like
good
you,
for that.
yeah.
Hey,
So that's cool, man.
That's awesome.
Thanks for that recommendation. That was fun.
that it didn't go the way I thought it would go, but like this is almost better. I'm almost happier it went the way it went.
Don't get me wrong. I hate this game. I absolutely despise this game.
I hate it so much.
But as someone who's been
But just because I hate it doesn't mean there isn't value. Yeah, I hear you.
I think it's a terrible game. And maybe my ratings to make everyone else suffer a little too and get them
people
them
playing
in
it.
on it.
Yeah, there you go.
Or maybe it's because this game is so intelligent, cerebral, and
I hate it, but dang, it's well designed.
So it is a bad game. I do hate it.
Yeah.
But I feel like you gotta play it.
You gotta
play
just
it.
gotta.
And I can't give it a bad rating because I think it's the developer clearly put a lot of thought into building this incredibly simplistic yet painful to play game.
Interesting.
So yeah, it is a bad game. Absolutely, it's bad. It has very positive reviews because people love to suffer.
Yeah, and what is more important is not only do people love to suffer, they love to suffer with other people.
They love to suffer with other people. And Aaron, if I was playing this game alone by myself,
yeah,
I probably wouldn't enjoy it.
Huh?
Probably wouldn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah.
I would probably want to give it terrible ratings. But the reality is that this is a shared experience. You've played it before.
I have. I hated it.
Yeah, and
I played by myself.
And I hate it too. But it's also a good game. So it's both bad and good.
It's bad and good.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that experience then.
This game's making me feel a little schizophrenic. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, it's bad, it's good. It's bad, it's good. It's bad, it's bad, it's good.
It's bad, but, you know, I kind of... No. I sound like Harlequin over here.
I lose my mind playing this game. But yeah, no.
Well, there you have it. So those are our two titles today. Ori and the Blind Forest and Getting Over It in the platforming genre.
I did not, as a matter of fact, get over it.
No, you're still on it.
I got right to the top and then I got right to the bottom again.
You didn't get to the top. There's so much more than where you
I'm
were.
sure there's much higher to the top, but I got to the top of the little crevasse.
Oh, I got
the lanterns.
I got to the... So I know at the very, very top there's like a radio antenna. I've never gotten to the radio antenna. The closest I got was to like the snowy mountain trail, and there's this one jump you have to do that just sucks.
I think the only thing worse than playing this game would be being the one who developed it. And hear me out for a minute. In order to have consistent physics, which it is a little bit janky, but it is consistent. In order to have consistent physics, but also do level design that allows you to use the length of the sledge, the consistent physics, to launch yourself just the right way to be able to complete that jump, to develop that in a way that the game is actually able to be completed. Wow. Like, I can only imagine how much Bennett Foddy would have pulled out their hair.
Going, why isn't this working?
Why isn't this working? I need to add an edge to this cliff, or I need to do this. Because not only did they have to make the game, they had to play test it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm 1,000% sure he did this by himself.
Yeah. So Bennett, wherever you're at, I'd love to chat. But in the meantime, I'm going to play your game until I pull all my hair out.
Yeah. He might be bald when he chats with you.
It won't take long.
You might owe us a wig. But anyway, thank you all very much for tuning in to Basements, Vaults, and Catapults. We always appreciate your ears. And I guess until next time.
Yeah, so get out there, play some games.
Yeah.
And I wish you good luck, have fun, and don't die.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And that's our time, and the end of our episode.
But don't feel sad it's over. Be glad it happened. From the two of us in the basement, thanks for tuning in.
Join us next time.
And feel free to send us any feedback on our socials, or send us a direct email at bfcpcontact@gmail.com.
And if you're really interested in what we're doing, join us on Patreon, where we will have loads of behind-the-scenes stuff and uncut takes as more episodes are released. Patreon.com/basements, faults, and catapults.
We're always excited to hear from you because we love engagement. We look forward to our next catapult launch and hope you can join us for the ensuing chaos.
Good luck.
See you next time.
Pre-banter.
This is gold! Stop wasting the gold!
You're wasting the gold. I like gold.
I love gold. I like gold. I don't think that's something another dude should be saying to another dude.
Oh, no?
Oh, no.
All right.